Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. We post this on YouTube as well. I started this broadcast today with a song from the same title, Bought for Sale. You know, I'm reminded a few years back whenever I was on the radio here at a local radio station out Bethel. I was there for 6 years, saw a lot of great mighty things from God. There was a little broadcast room. We saw 35 people 1 week in that broadcast room, all feeling the presence of God. 1 week we baptized 13 people at the end of a broadcast. Saw a lot of great and mighty things happen. But you know, there come a time in that whenever I was on about 6 years, they wanted me to sign a paper saying that I would preach on what they want me to preach on. Not what I want to preach on, but I had to sign a paper saying what I'd preach on. I loved that broadcast more than anything in this world as far as my ministry. I mean, I hated leaving that broadcast, but I come to a point that day whenever they told me to sign that paper. Didn't say nothing at that present point in time. But my broadcast was the next day or two, and I went in the broadcast room, and I knew it was about time to sign that paper. I done my broadcast, awesome service. Saw a lot of people call in and say they come to the Lord. Several people was healed. They testified of the miracles that God was doing in their life. In tear-stained eyes at the very end of that broadcast, I said, I hate to tell you today, and it saddens my heart to tell you this, but this is my last broadcast. I was pastoring a church then. I just started pastoring, so I told them I was going to devote my time to the pastorship. If anybody wanted to come hear me preach, they'd come. I gave them the location. And but at the end of it, they asked me, why'd you quit? And I said, well, you know my opening song's what it was for 6 years. And they said, yeah, not for sale. And I said, I'm not for sale. I'm not going to sign something and nobody's going to tell me what I can and cannot preach on. Because if God tells me to preach something, I'm going to preach it. I'm not for sale. And then I walked out. You know, that's what we need to be today. We don't need to be sold out. Preach what somebody else would want us to preach. But simply say, we're not for sale. I'm going to do that song one more time. You know, for a long time, for 2 years, I know I've said this many times, but for 2 years I didn't obey God. And I sat down my ministry. And I'll never forget, I was at a benefit singing for someone. And somebody played this song. People was coming up. I mean, I was just bawling. Anybody's coming to me, what's wrong with you? I said, that's my song. But I let go. Now I start obeying God. And you know, it reminded me that we're not for sale. Some of you today need reminding that you're not for sale.
What happened to that preacher who used to preach so strong? What happened to that singer who used to sing our song? The preacher's out selling Amway. That singer's now singing country. sold out what is right for what is wrong. What happened to that church? We used to be on fire. What happened to all the voices who sang in that heavenly choir? Oh, the church has now grown dead and cold. The choir is silent 'cause nobody goes. They sold out to the world and their own desire. Listen to me. This heart belongs to Jesus, 'cause he saved my soul from hell. This heart belongs to Jesus. This heart, not for sale. Not for sale. I'm not for sale. No way, no sir. Well, a man from California called a few months ago. He said, boy, with your talent, we could make a lot of dough. I said, thanks for your offer. It all sounds swell. But I belong to Jesus and I'm just not for sale. Not for sale. Not for sale. I'm not for sale. No way, no sir. Well, if you're living for Jesus, friend, there'll come a day that old devil's gonna try to get you some way. He'll try you and tempt you with his lies straight from hell. Just say, I belong to Jesus, and devil, I'm not for sale. Not for sale. Not for sale. I'm not for sale. No way, no sir. I'm not for sale. I belong to the Lamb of God. He purchased me with his precious blood. I don't need popularity. I'd rather have what he gave to me. I belong to the King of Kings. He's my hope, he's my joy, he's my everything. I belong to the Lord God Almighty. I belong to the Lord who gave his life for me. I belong to the Lamb of God. He purchased me with his precious blood. I don't need popularity. I'd rather have what he gave to me. Some sold convictions for compromise. Some have sold the truth for a pack of lies. Some have sold testimonies for fortune and fame. I just want to glorify and magnify his name. This heart belongs to Jesus. Save my soul from hell. This heart belongs to Jesus. Oh, this heart's not for sale. Not for sale. I'm not for sale.